Hello Legacy students, this is section 2.6, day 2, Miss Marsh speaking of course. So materials that you're going to want to make sure you have with you and right next to you. You want to have your notebooks. Remember, you can always take notes. Writing utensil, so make sure you have a pencil. That measurement foldable I gave you guys on Friday. It was a bright pink paper, you can't miss it. Then you're also definitely going to want a calculator today. So what is this video going to be on? Today we're going to look at how to convert units and rates among each other. Now, you do not need to write this slide down, but why do you have to know how to do this? Converting units is very useful in life. You're going to do this a lot if you ever have to buy flooring or if you ever have to buy paint or any of that nature. And also in chemistry and physics, you're going to see this a lot. You're going to have to change milliliters to liters and back and forth. So that's why we're looking at this today, because it's very important you know how to do this. So I'm going to ask you a question. What happens when you divide a number by itself? For example, 3 divided by 3. I know that I get 1. So wouldn't the same apply if I divide a unit by itself? I'm going to get number 1. This is what we're going to use when we're converting units. We want to think if I can find something that's equal to one another on the top and the bottom, I get a 1. So go ahead and write this one down. In unit analysis, which is what we're looking at, we're going to use a conversion factor, which is basically a fancy form of 1. And units to help us see the steps we need to perform to convert the units correctly. So an example, we need to be able to convert 6.25 inches to centimeters. So if you look here, I have an example of that. Notice how my 6.25 inches is across, or look how I have 2.54 centimeters. And actually, 2.54 centimeters is actually equal to 1.0 inches. So this is just a really fancy form of 1. Right here, this is just 1. So I'm taking 6.25 times 1, essentially. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 6.25 times 2.54, and that's going to give me my answer. And notice how my inches disappear. And we'll look at how that actually happens in a moment. But first, what you need is you need to grab your pink sheet and open the top flap. So that's going to be your length flap. So we're going to fill this in so that we can use it on homework, and we can also use it for your test when you take this part of the test. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So you're going to want to fill in your sheet as I fill in mine. 1 kilometer is 100 meters. 1 foot is 12 inches, of course. 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 mile, 5,280 feet. And 1 mile is 1,760 yards. Now, the lesser known conversions. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers. And 1 foot is 0.3. Looks like my pen is hating me right now. There we go. 0.3 meters. So that's our length flap all filled out. Now we're going to go down to our weight flap. 1 pound is 16 ounces. And 110 is 2,000 pounds. Now, one more conversion. 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms. Just a little noting of how to get from customary or American measurement to the metric measurement. Now, liquid volume. 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. 1 pint is 2 cups. 1 quart is 2 pints. And 1 gallon is 4 quarts. And 1 liter is 1.06 quarts. So make sure you get these all down on your sheet. So I will be checking your little foldable. So unit analysis. This is using units and the idea of canceling or dividing units to guide our calculations. So we want to look at here. A European recipe calls for 5 pints of water. How many cups should I use? So I'm going to look at my little foldable that we just made, and I notice that 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. So that's going to be my fancy form of 1. I'm going to use that for my fancy form of 1, or my unit conversion, in a moment. So I'm going to write this. I have 5 pints over 1. So now what I need to do is I need to multiply that by a fancy form of 1. So that's going to go right here, my fancy form of 1. And I said I have pints. I have 1 pint equals 2 cups. So since pints is in the numerator over here, I'm going to put my 1 pint on the bottom. And then 1 pint equals 2 cups. So what's really cool about this is why I put pints right here. Remember, if you ever have something in the numerator and something in the denominator, you can always cancel it out. So pints can cancel out here, and pint can cancel there. So if you notice, I just have cups left over, which is exactly what I wanted for an answer. So now I want to multiply just like I normally would do for fractions. So I'm going to do 5 times 2, and I get 10 cups, and 1 times 1, which is 1. So this is 10 cups. So make sure you write this one down. So now, 15 years old. A lot of you guys are 15. So we want to see how many seconds have passed since you were born. It's kind of a good question, isn't it? So I'm going to ask myself, I'm going to start with 15 years. I need to get to all the way over here. I need to get to seconds. So I need to start converting. I need to start getting smaller than years. So I'm going to ask myself, what's the next smallest unit to years? Which I know 1 year equals 365 days. So I'm going to put years across from years. So right here, 1 year. And I'm going to put the other part of that one, 365 days. So now my years cancel off. So now I have 365 days. I need to get to seconds yet, so I need to keep going. So my next smallest unit from days would be hours. So I have 1 day has 24 hours in it. That's equal, 24 hours is equal to 1 day. My days are gone. And then I have 24 hours, need to still get to seconds, so I'm going to get even smaller yet. So the next smallest unit would be minutes. So I have 1 hour is 60 minutes. Hours are going to cancel out. Notice how all these keep canceling as I bounce. Now 60 minutes, I'm still not at seconds. So I have 1 minute must be 60 seconds. So now I'm at seconds. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 15 by 365 by 24 by 60 and by 60, and I get a number of 473,040,000 seconds. It's a lot of seconds since you were born. Now let's look at this next one. You're going to make sure you get these two down, especially the second example on here. So they want you to drive 25 miles per hour. What is your speed in feet per second? Notice how this one, instead of going only one change, miles has to change to feet and hours need to change to seconds. So we need to start setting this up. I have 45 miles per hour, so per 1 hour. And I need to convert these. So I'm going to start with miles, and I want to get him to feet. So I'm going to look in my little foldable, and I notice that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So then my miles are going to cancel out. So now I'm at feet. That's good. So now I don't have to deal with him anymore. I'm done with him. But I need to get this hour into seconds. So I'm going to start converting hours to the seconds. So I'm going to go to minutes now. So since hours on the denominator here, I need him to become a numerator so I can cancel out my hours. So I know 1 hour is 60 minutes. So my hours go away, cancel out. I'm still not at seconds like they wanted, so I need to convert again. So 60 minutes, I know that 1 minute, notice how my minutes are as across from my minutes, is 60 seconds. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply across. 45 times 5,280 times 1 times 1, which is going to give me 237,600 feet, because my minutes canceled, forgot about that, feet per, I'm going to multiply the top bottom, 1 times 1 times 60 times 60, which gives me 3,600 seconds. Now, I need to simplify this. So I'm going to divide these two numbers, and I get 66 feet per second. Last one. I want you guys to try this one on your own. Pause the video, try it, see if you can get the answer, and then unpause me and see if you got it right. Welcome back from pausing. So you're going to want to see if 3 gallons per second, we want gallons per hour. So I'm going to start at 3 gallons per second, so over 1 second. So I don't need to change gallons, because that's the same, but I do need to change these seconds into hours. So I know that I have to go diagonal, so I'm going to get 60 seconds is 1 minute. So I need to get bigger, right? I need to slowly make my way to hours. Seconds are going to cancel out. So now my minutes need to cancel. So I need to go diagonal, and I need 60 minutes to 1 hour. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 60 times 60, and that is going to give me 10,800 gallons per 1 hour. Did you get it right? Hopefully you did. And that's the end of the notes today. See you next time.